There are a large number of Android phones that cannot be found at your preferred carrier store, but they are readily available in the US primarily from Amazon. Xiaomi is third in global smartphone market share with 14% of sales, compared to Samsung at 19% in first place and Apple with 17% in second place. I've tried Xiaomi's Redmi Note brand several times in the past. For the past few weeks, I've been testing two of its newest models. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, otherwise known as Palm Solo, and thanks for visiting the Mobile with Matt YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing and interacting with me in the comment sections down below. I appreciate your comments and I'll try to get back to all of them. Xiaomi sent along the Redmi Note 14 Pro 5G and the Pro Plus 5G. Rather long names for rather affordable phones. Despite the word Note in the name of the phone, these models do not support stylus input, and the Redmi Note brand is the affordable model series as compared to the flagship Xiaomi series that also incorporates Leica optics, folding form factors, and more. I remember several years ago when I tried my first Redmi Note phone, I looked all over the place for a stylus and it was not there. That is just a branding for this affordable phone market. The Redmi Note 14 Pro 5G arrived in the lovely coral green color, which is kind of a mint color, while the Note 14 Pro Plus model is in midnight black. The Note 14 Pro 5G model is available on Amazon for just $300 and the Pro Plus model for $419. And I'll talk in just a few minutes about the difference in that $119 price and what that $119 extra is getting for you. These prices are actually pretty amazing for the high quality Android phones that these are, but there are definitely some compromises made when it comes to the software and the long-term software update expectations. So let's check out some of the key specifications and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of my experiences with them. So looking first at the $300 Note 15 Pro 5G. It is powered by a MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Ultra processor, and it comes with the Xiaomi HyperOS operating system based on Android 14. And I'll talk a little bit about Android 14 versus Android 15 later. The phone that was sent to me has 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. There are other options for both RAM and storage as well. It comes with a 5110 mAh battery with a 45-watt turbocharging charger in the box. It is very durable with an IP68 dust and water resistance, and it has a 6.67-inch 2712 by 1220 120 Hz AMOLED display with that Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 glass on the front. The rear cameras on the back are a 200 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro camera with a 20 megapixel front camera. Coral green was the color that was sent me, but it's also available in midnight black and lavender purple. Looking at the Note 15 Pro Plus 5G model, we see a Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processor, 12 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage, that same 5110 mAh battery, but it does have a 120 watt hypercharge charger in the box. The display is that same 6.67-inch display, that Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 as well, and those 3 cameras on the back are the same, the 200 megapixel main, the 8 megapixel ultra wide, and the 2 megapixel macro. Colors are also similar with midnight black and lavender purple. Pro Plus model also has frost blue as an option. Both phones weigh in very close to each other at the 190 and 210 grams. So in summary, the major difference between these two phones for that $119 is the type of processor that is being used and the faster charging support. The key specs are the same, including the cameras, the battery capacity, the durability, and the connectivity. So while the Xiaomi brand isn't sold by your carrier, it is sold through Amazon, and that's a legitimate carrier. Sometimes it can be kind of sketchy getting some of these Chinese phones where you go through a third-party store, but you can trust Amazon with the Xiaomi store on Amazon. But let's talk a little bit more about that connectivity. So the phone itself supports a wide range of 5G bands, including N1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 20, and on. You can see all of those bands on the website. Now, I have a T-Mobile SIM that I was using with this phone. I have a T-Mobile SIM that I was using with both these phones, and there's one band that is supported on 5G. That is band N41 for that ultra capacity. That is supported by these two phones with T-Mobile. Thankfully, all of the T-Mobile LTE bands are supported, so at a minimum you will have LTE coverage and you'll only get 5G coverage in one band. So there is some limited connectivity compared to what you're going to find in a store, but it's tough to beat that $300 and $419 price as well. The real focus of these phones is the hardware. The hardware is lovely with a dense, solid feel and those attractive matte back covers. The cameras take up about a third of the back with a stovetop 2x2 arrangement. There is one piece of glass covering all the cameras on the Pro Plus model, with individual camera bumps on the Pro model, so they're not quite as protected as they are on the Pro Plus model. The volume and power buttons are on the right side with the USB-C port on the bottom and stereo speakers. The display is curved on each edge, which gives it that premium feel that we saw on some phones in the past. And one thing that I did like to see is that Xiaomi includes settings for inadvertent screen activation, so you can actually manage the edge sensitivity to be able to optimize it for these two Redmi Note 14 phones launched with Android 14 and Xiaomi HyperOS with the 1 December 2024 Android security update. So now we're in January. That's a pretty recent Android security update, and that's great. However, I would like to see Android 15 on board since that was released several months ago, but we don't currently have any word on when that might happen, and I wouldn't really rely on long-time software or security updates with these affordable phones. The home screen experience is fairly stock, but the control panel is clearly different. There's several more settings than what you'd find on a Pixel phone, and there's plenty of bloatware, apps, and folders. I wouldn't expect too many software updates, as I mentioned, and I don't like having all those Me apps on board, but some of those can be removed and uninstalled on the phone, because by default I was going to go with the web browser, but I saw a bunch of ads being pushed by the browser, and I uninstalled that as well. Even though this phone is running Android 14, thankfully Google Gemini is available. Even though both of these phones are running Android 14, I was very pleased to see Google Gemini is available and well integrated. Press and hold that power button, it'll launch Google Gemini. You can use Circle to Search, AI image tools, and more, all with those AI experiences on this hardware. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 14 hardware is excellent and clearly competes at that $300 and $419 price points when it comes to battery capacity, display technology, amount of storage, and the durability. The cameras performed fairly well, not up to a flagship level, although I did like the 2 megapixel macro. Even though it's only 2 megapixel, it did take some pretty good macros. These cameras are more than what you would expect on a phone in the $300 price range though, so if you're looking for an affordable phone to get started with, it's not a bad option. I'm really not a fan of the extra apps, the stores, and utilities. Some can't be deleted, even if there's ample storage, and I would like to see a cleaner operating system. Thanks to Xiaomi for the opportunity to try out these new affordable Android phones. While the cameras are a prominent feature on the back of these phones, I wouldn't say that cameras and their results are the main focus of this phone. It is excellent, high-quality hardware with ample storage, large battery capacities, and a lovely display. It has an elegant feel and look to these phones, and for the $300 and $419, it's tough to beat. If you're focused on a good hardware that's durable, that you can take out and use in the rain, you may want to consider these phones. I wouldn't think of them if you're looking for the best camera out there, but at $300, you're not going to get that much for a camera anyway. These are very good, solid phones, and being available on Amazon makes them something that you can be tried for a fairly low cost. Thanks to Xiaomi for the opportunity to try out these new affordable Android phones, and if you are interested in them, please consider using my Amazon affiliate links. If you have any specific questions on these phones, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share. Interact with me here and stay tuned for more coverage of various types of products related to technology and mobility, including e-bikes, wearables, phones, fitness, health gear, and more. May the mobile force be with you.